Influence, not authority, is what separates good leaders from great ones. Whether you're leading a team, managing stakeholders, or positioning yourself for your next promotion, your ability to influence directly impacts your success. In today's video, we're breaking down 3 powerful strategies to help you become a more influential leader at work, starting immediately. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to build trust that makes people want to follow your lead, communicate in a way that drives alignment and action, position yourself as a strategic voice that others listen to. If you've ever felt overlooked, unheard, or stuck trying to gain buy-in, this is exactly what you need. If you don't know me, I'm Portia of Fly High Coaching, where we've helped thousands of executives and professionals soar to their full potential in their careers. First, you want to build strategic trust, not just likability. Many people are overly concerned about if their coworkers like them personally. Influence is rooted in trust, but not surface level rapport. It's about credibility, consistency, and reliability. So, to do that, you want to deliver predictable results. Consistency builds confidence in your leadership. So the more often that you are delivering great results, people will see that, and that will become synonymous with you and your personal brand. Executives trust people who reduce uncertainty, not the people who add to the uncertainty. You also want to align your words with your actions. So follow through and getting things done, accomplished, executed is way more powerful than just having charisma. Think about micro integrity moments. So meeting deadlines, adhering to your commitments, all of those things matter. If you want more support around your leadership, sign up for our Career 911 Masterclass linked. You also want to demonstrate competence publicly. So speak up in meetings with thoughtful insights at the right time. You don't just want to be talking throughout the whole meeting. You also want to share data-driven perspectives, not just your opinion. That's very important. A lot of people are talking and they're just sharing what they personally think or what they heard was the best, but there isn't necessarily data, proof, evidence behind it. You want to be a problem solver, not a problem identifier. So you want to always pair issues with potential solutions. This positions you as proactive and not reactive and just needy. You also want to build cross-functional credibility. So influence expands when trust exists beyond just your immediate team. Do people on other teams know about you? Other departments know about you? That is really important for expanding your credibility. Second, you want to communicate with clarity and executive presence. We have a whole podcast episode on executive presence. We actually have a couple of them on executive presence now that I think about it. And we talk about, is executive presence just for executives? Hint, hint, it's not. You don't have to be an executive to have executive presence. Influential leaders don't just have good ideas. They communicate them in ways that drive action, and that's what it's about. One way to do this is to lead with the bottom line. Some people call this the bluff method. So that's the bottom line upfront method. So you start with the recommendation and then you support it. This is really important when you are communicating with executives. A lot of them do not have time and they don't want to try to figure out your point or what you're trying to say. I tell people no one should be trying to follow the breadcrumbs of what you're talking about. You also want to tailor your message to your audience. Similar to what I was saying before about executives, you would speak differently to executives versus peers or direct reports. So I'm not saying that you treat people differently and you treat them better. No, you treat everyone the way you want to be treated, but how you communicate, what you say, how much you talk, even the amount of detail that you give, all of that can be different based on if your audience is an executive audience audience of your peers, or an audience of direct reports. So be sure to align your messaging to each group's priorities and pressures. What's important to them? You also want to use strategic storytelling. So data informs, but stories persuade. So how can you share data, but also incorporate a story that is memorable and is persuasive? So you can frame ideas with context, the stakes. So what was going on? Why was it important? And the outcomes. Those are important things to include in compelling stories. You also want to control your delivery. So your tone, your pacing, and your confidence. All of that signals authority in your communication. A simple tip here is to try to eliminate filler words or over explaining everything that you're talking about. In that, mastering the power of the pause is very important. So silence can reinforce confidence and really command attention. So that's something to think about as you are considering your own level of executive presence. And then finally, you want to influence without authority. So this is getting stakeholder buy-in when you don't lead those people directly. True leadership shows up when you can influence outcomes without direct control. So understand stakeholder motivations. What would success look like for them? And your influence increases when you can connect the dots. So connect what's going on to their goals. What's in it for me is a common term that you might hear. Think about that in your conversations. You also want to build relationships before you need them. So influence is something that is pre-built. It's not activated in the moment when you need it. Someone already has a perception of you. They already are influenced by you or think you're an influential person. So you want to invest in consistent, low stakes interactions, doing what you say you're going to do with timelines and commitments. Those things might be small, but they lead to a perception of you being influential and trustworthy. And you want to use what some people call a pre-sale strategy. So talk about your ideas one-on-one with individuals before a formal meeting. And this helps you to get early buy-in so that when you share it in a meeting, it lands. Now, the good thing about this is that it can reduce resistance and build alignment early. Some of you are working in environments where you cannot share certain things with certain people because they're going to turn around and tell everybody else, or they're going to say it themselves and make it seem like it's their idea. So you've got to be cognizant of the environment that you're working in. You want to frame ideas as shared wins. So even in your language, you want to shift from my idea and I took the lead on this and I did that to this is our opportunity and our project, our goal. This increases ownership and buy-in with your team members, and people notice that you're not necessarily separating yourself from other people. And you want to leverage social proof. So reference other leaders, other teams, or other data points that support your idea. To become a more influential leader, focus on 3 things: building strategic trust, communicate with clarity and presence, and learn how to influence even when you don't have authority. Influence isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the one that people trust, respect, and listen to when it matters most. If you're ready to elevate your leadership and position yourself for your next level, make sure to subscribe to this channel and check out the Career 911 Masterclass linked below.